Alright, Eugene, let's do a detailed review of this car for our viewers. As we mentioned before, this is 2018 Cadillac CTS-V. It's a very special car. It has an engine, 640 horsepower engine from Corvette Z06. And we will do a walk around, talk about differences between this car and the regular CTS, and then we will do a quick drive and go over some of those. So let's start with the front. CTS-V has a different grille, which is different from a regular CTS. Also, it has this spoiler below the bumper, which gives it a very aggressive look. And it comes with this special license plate, only on CTS-V. This is a carbon fiber hood. It has the air vents. I'll open it up to show.
Andre, can you tell our viewers why would somebody put a very expensive carbon fiber hood on a family sedan?
Yeah, it looks like a family sedan, but in reality it offers a great performance. So basically this reduces weight and it looks very, very cool.
Andre, can you tell us more about this engine?
Yes, as I mentioned before, this engine is shared with Corvette Z06. And it has 640 horsepower. It's a supercharged V8, which gets this car from 0 to 60 in approximately 3.8 seconds. Of course, that depends on the conditions, but that's what they claim. It's a beautiful looking engine.
If you take a look at the details, you can see a lot of it is covered, and the reason that it's covered is people, the manufacturer doesn't want people tinkering with it. So just some interesting details. Right here you can see the Supercharger Pulley. It's really tucked inside, but it gives pretty good output, like Andre mentioned. And
here we have a sway bar.
Yep.
So even though it's a big car, it doesn't feel like a huge car because of a sport tuned suspension and things like this.
All right, well, we're gonna do a walk around just so you can see the exterior dimensions. You can see the front lip, and as you see, it is a large car, and putting that much power in a car with the rear wheel drive can get pretty dangerous. So I'll tell you a little bit more about some other elements that this car has unique to it versus the regular CTS-V. So the wheels. These are lightweight aluminum wheels with 6-piston caliper brakes. Car with that much power really needs to stop real well. And you see these wheels are a little dirty, and we did some rolling videos and some driving. That's why the brake dust settles, right? So you have this side grills that are partially decorative, but also they serve as brake cooling. So as we keep going, this is pretty standard. You get some luxury bits and pieces, some light up door handles. Rear wheels are 295 wide, 19 inch high, so 295 width. Means they're pretty wide. Just so you know, our regular standard cars are about 235, 245 width. So, and going back to what Andre talked about, the engine and the speed, you really need a lot of rubber to keep this car planted, right? Also 4-piston rear brakes, and generally production cars have 4 in the front, 2 in the back, but this since it accelerates fast, it needs to slow down fast as well. So as you look inside, you can see some V badges on the steering wheel here, and the actual dash is slightly different. So I'm gonna climb in, start it up. Right, and you can see how the dashboard comes alive. It's a little bit different than the regular CTS-V. It has some interesting displays, right? So you could switch the modes from touring to sport to track to snow and ice, right? Snow and ice mode is probably not the best idea in this car to begin with. It's a rear wheel drive. Right, you can change a lot of these screens back and forth to your liking. So the transmission here, the shifter looks pretty standard, but the transmission is special to the V. It's a very fast shifting automatic, and we'll talk a little bit more about it during driving impressions. All right, so the seats are V. They're mainly just the logo. They're kind of 3/4 leather and a quarter of Alcantara. They're comfortable. They're nice. Very luxury like. So you get the best of both worlds, right? And you get typical digital gadgets here, Apple CarPlay, everything, heated vented seats, and so forth. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go for a ride, and we'll tell you how it feels on the road. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
Okay, we're gonna drive 2018 Cadillac CTS-V. Eugene, tell us your first impressions.
So first, when you get behind the wheel of this car, you don't feel much different from the regular CTS, right? Everything overall looks very similar. There are a couple of V badges that you see. All right, so as soon as you start the car, you hear it. The first sense, you hear there's really something special about this car. Then you can see the layout of the driver dashboard and the heads-up display, which is very different from the regular CTS. It's more sport oriented, it's more driver oriented. You get some nice graphics. So we'll start driving.
Yep, let's go.
Nice, very fast shifting transmission.
Very comfortable seats, something to note.
Yeah, they're similar to the regular CTS, which they have nice side support, nice lumbar support. They're ventilated and heated.
Yep,
so,
and you don't lose comfort features. With some other cars, you get these sport seats and you lose the comfort.
Absolutely. So this car is very comfortable. It's a very good cruiser. So now we're just driving around the city, public roads, potholes. Very comfortable. Adaptive suspension does a great job. Making sure that you're comfortable, and it is a Cadillac, right? So it's meant for luxury, it's meant for comfort, and it does that pretty well, right? So one interesting thing is, from what you heard in a previous clip, is the sound of the exhaust. It's not as loud and aggressive inside. It's almost to a point where it sounds like a small V8, right? And you wouldn't expect, if you gave somebody a ride in this car without giving them the details and them really knowing what this car is really capable of, they wouldn't even know. So that's makes it almost sleeper-like. So what I like about it is you can pull up next to faster-looking cars and really leave them far behind. At the same time, you get on the highway, you're on the road, doing daily grocery runs, you're very comfortable. Very good position, it's not too low,
Yep.
Visibility is good. How's the passenger comfort, Andre?
It's
What do you
great.
think?
Yep, absolutely. It combines both practicality and, as you've mentioned, performance. What is your opinion? How does it compare to its rivals?
So that's a very good question. So for those viewers who are not sure about this model and its rivals, the rivals are Mercedes E63 AMG and BMW M5. So this car is definitely a worthy competitor, and being very fun to drive. Both of the rivals, the new models, are both all-wheel drive, which gives them a little bit quicker acceleration due to the all-wheel drive and better grip.
Yep.
Well, as you saw in the first video, you know how to solve that. Just throw some weight in the trunk. All right. So it's sound is amazing from the outside. What I would really like to get in this car to make it perfect is the switch to open up that sound, right? So Andre, you mentioned something before to me about the artificial sound in the German rivals.
Yes, so in the new F90 M5, as well as in the M3 and M4, the sound is fed through the speakers inside the cabin, and it's both good and bad, right? So it's not as muted, but at the same time it's not a true raw sound.
Right, so this, from the outside you saw, that's raw American muscle sound, and that's a big plus.
You can't beat that, yeah.
Absolutely not. So AMG is known for great sound, but let me tell you, this supercharged V8 and Corvette heart in this car really makes a tremendous difference. So having a little bit more of that sound, or at least being able to have open valve exhaust or something along those lines, where if you really wanted to, you could. That would be great for any enthusiast, because really this car is based on drivers who are enthusiasts, because it's fast, it's a little bit priced at a point where somebody who just goes to the store and back wouldn't really consider it, but somebody who really appreciates muscle cars, quick cars, and fun cars can have fun not just driving but also listening, right, from the inside.
Yeah.
So overall, I like this car. I like the way it feels and it drives. The steering wheel and the steering is pretty responsive. It's a little bit heavier than the standard CTS. It does lack a little bit of feel because it is digital. It's not drive-by-wire anymore. So just like in all the other cars, but that's the new technology, and I think we can live with that. So overall, I have some specific gauges like a supercharger boost gauge and 0 to 60 timer, which can be useful if you have a track nearby.